Alright, Volume 2. Why housing is so pricey. Troubles Malone. I asked for a price on a one-bedroom apartment. In response, after fees was almost one stat. I asked her why it was so much more than it was 6 months ago. She had no response. Her response was to tell me how much a two-bedroom was. They do not care if we have a home or not. Their costs have not gone up. It seems to me another form of price gouging. They know our situation. Interesting. Depends on where this is, yeah. Which could create opportunities for entrepreneurs. DBA Daddy not being able to collect rent for month after month and not being allowed to evict is a massive cost, especially when the government that put moratorium on evictions didn't put a moratorium on property taxes. Yeah, how you gonna do that? Interesting. That sort of plays a big role in that shift of employment to the suburbs. But couldn't it take years for them to possibly come get your home for prop tax? It could take years, I think, maybe. And they build these huge subdivisions, 10,000, 20,000 homes on very inexpensive land that's essentially, farmland that's undisturbed. On the flip side, of course, we know that there are terrible climate impacts from building. So there really is a tension. And you can see that very clearly in California. Also, stop having kids definitely won't be able to survive with them hanging around as a liability. Wow. Urban metropolitan areas were so expensive that people started moving into the more wooded areas. And then you see these wildfires, and they're not going away. In fact, they're getting much worse. Meanwhile, suburban drivers on beltways are shaping. He pays his own everything. Okay. Really, in the kinds of suburban settings that we characterize as sprawling, separated uses, car-dependent, relatively low density, this is where we see a more extreme emissions use. Most U.S. emissions come from personal cars. Commutes lengthened as the country sprawled over decades. So going back to 1970, around 81% of residents lived in the county where they grew up, and that declined substantially over time by the year. All these depressing malls need to be turned into affordable housing. Emmett solar panels on the roof, turning some of the parking into food gardens, having social services based right there in the housing. New master plan concept. Wow, they don't see us as human beings. They don't. Wow. Real estate in the U.S. is rising rapidly, pricing many families out of home ownership. The problem is that many homes and land parcels are being purchased by companies and people overseas as an investment. Yeah, they need legislation that requires, strict citizen rules to purchase it, just like other countries do. American citizens should not have to compete with investors outside of America for home ownership. Chinese are not the only ones outside of the country buying American properties. No American could buy a house in any other country. He said, I didn't take school seriously because jobs when I was growing up were paying well and people were retiring with no worries, for my opinion. The pay is still not enough. I had a home in my hometown. Yeah, you gotta make 20 hours or more, 40 stacks and more to even make the cut nowadays. Yeah, it's $20. If you don't make $20 from whatever jobs you do or businesses you do, it's like damn. And it's think about it, the game is they're trying everything they can to keep you not making, as much as you want. There's, people don't want you to make more than them. Yeah, people don't want you to make more than them, have more than them. All people want you to make more than them and have more than them. Most people won't, There's one word for the state of housing in America: greed. Workers do not earn wages with higher productivity. Productivity has been increasing without complementary wage growth for decades. Interesting. Employers won't control wages, not employees. Huh. Get your act together. I can't share the video like this. Wow. Get yourself a raise. Business Burners is the first. Ask for a raise, gets raised up the list for a round of layoffs in the next month. Wow. Interesting. I think he means change jobs, same, different. Start applying for other companies. They'd ask you, they'd sack you for any reason. Why wouldn't you be able to leave for a better job? I apply for a new job every 2 to 3 years because a 3% raise per year ain't it. He said he applies for a new job every few years. Wow. Why can't you find a better job? My entire city is poor. Even the bosses are poor. Wow. Even the bosses. There are no better jobs and we can't afford to move every other year. I wonder what city this guy's in. Wow. There are no better jobs and we can't afford to move every other year. Employers only control wages because employees don't form unions. Interesting. Americans really believe these past decades that if they work hard enough, their employees will reward them individually. Nope, group bargaining power trumps individual. Nope, group bargaining power trumps individual. Interesting. Yes, we need more unions organizing in the U.S. The old traditional unions that don't seem too interested in it, but it would be a golden opportunity for working class people. New unions need to be formed. Yeah, worker unions. Interesting. By federal law, workplaces can't prohibit unions since they organize their employees. I don't know how much commitment Washington has to backing up these days. Let's face it, if you work at a place long enough, you probably did do something to rate dismissal. But a number of unions have pension funds, which is a big plus for employees. Interesting.
Markets, rents are moving to record highs. Renters in small markets are squeezed too. For example,
our neighbors were asking $245 for their home, and some family from Cali bought it for $350. What's going on everywhere is crazy, but I'm in Idaho and our market is absolutely going nuclear. Wow. Did they say really get yourself a raise? Like it just snap, crack, go pop? Wow. Let them eat cake. Wow. You may need to change careers to get one. Do you have the drive in you to do that? Interesting. Do you have the drive in you to do that?
But the story goes back
again with what money?
All the way back to the Great Recession.
Documentary out of touch.
This has been building really since the end of the financial crisis back a little over a decade ago. A lot of communities.
Oh yeah, so many people owning homes to rent out and companies buying them to rent out. Yeah.
Building materials, particularly lumber, has been in short supply. That's been a problem. Labor,
the pay is enough, and the housing also keeps rising. I moved to an affordable and comfortable place here in the meantime.
And because of changes in foreign immigration laws, we have a lot fewer foreign immigrants coming.
Yeah, Japan.
Would work in the construction trades. Also, a lot of smaller builders, they rely on.
They have brutal work hours. Wow.
And since the financial crisis, banks, particularly smaller banks, mid-sized banks, have been unable to, because of regulatory changes and other reasons, unable to provide enough. So there's a line of things going on
here in Guam, 3-bedroom house built in the early 90s for $500,000 plus, which is considered a fixer-upper. For renters, you are required to make 3 times rent. First month's rent deposit. All the while, the median income is $27. If you're lucky, American land of the free home is a select few. Wow, land of the free. Mortgage profession for 30 years, and it just seems like a giant money launderer to me. Where else is that much money being transacted back and forth? Not many avenues. Yeah, the mortgage profession being transacted back and forth. Not many avenues. Yeah, there's thousands a month. In the mortgage game, there's thousands a month being transacted back and forth, which is most people's biggest bill. Yeah, obviously is going to be tapped into by corruption. Wow, interesting. Obviously.
Maria is a teacher and needs to commute to work every day. She and many other Americans don't have
Don Bolton.
way more to save cash.
My hubby and I moved into a small town in a nice walkable neighborhood. It has been life-changing. We can walk, ride a bike, or What city is it in? Suburbs? Why is any habitable, livable house anywhere in the world almost unaffordable to honest, hardworking, decent, earning people? Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Renters in the traditional cheaper suburbs are dealing with homes too.
Say you purchased at 2%, it was 3%, now it's 5%. Fixture upper in Texas for 120. However, I feel bad for everyone else that doesn't have a chance to buy because the prices and rates are high. I wish this would be fixed soon. Wow.
Rents this high and house prices this high, so they have a lot
False scarcity and desire for profit are what drives this. False scarcity and desire for profit, yeah. For easy residual cash flow, yeah. Rental cash flow, yeah, or just cash flow and real estate in general. In the U.S., it's because of zoning laws and a not in my backyard attitude towards high density housing.
Buying homes maybe it puts a little upward pressure on home prices. Sure, maybe it does, but it does increase the stock of single-family rental homes available in the market, which can help to moderate rent growth.
And in the cities, some realtors
There are too many people who own more than one home with the banks. All my friends from Hong Kong own several homes here in the USA. They brag about them and make me feel so poor and worthless. Wow. Yeah, you get gentrified by empty home. Wow.
If I had decided to leave, I would have taken a lot of the savings.
The pandemic changed the landscape.
To a new building, losing around 150 square feet.
these hikes are hitting U.S. citizens.
It's not affordable for most people to own a home. The American dream has become more difficult. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they allow corporation investments to own homes, don't allow non-U.S. citizens to own any U.S. real estate, do not allow anyone to own more than 2 homes max. Interesting. This.
Statewide rent control. The gap increases at about 7%. Cities like New York, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. also have rent increases. These policies have some benefits. One study found renters were about 20% more likely to stay in their homes with rent control.
Non-U.S. citizens, yeah, they want to put a penalty for non-U.S. citizens. Like other countries do, yeah. How can I grow my portfolio to outpace inflation and maintain a successful long-term strategy? Interesting question. Similar profits, wow.
The answer to rising rents may be in the job market. Congress and the Fed
Most people can't be off-grid or have a tiny home because zoning says we have to be over a certain square feet and attached to water and sewer as well as electricity. Wow, we have to be attached to water and sewer as well as electricity. I do not believe we have a housing shortage. There are many homes sitting empty and many people, including myself, who would never have a chance due to financing and getting pushed out of my hometown with excessive rent prices. This is such a huge problem. Wow. Right, if anything, there's a home buyer / owner shortage. Wow.
which means that the answer to rising rents might be getting yourself
There are hundreds of thousands of homes sitting empty around the country. They sit empty for so long that they start to fall apart. The free market. We have centralized jobs and industry into the top 10 largest cities, with many small and medium-sized cities left to rot. This is preventable and should have been managed. What happened to the rest?